As a smaller guard, you're always going to have to be crafty and adjust your game to make an impact, especially at the rim. You've either got to play around with the timing of the finish, create contact, or find a unique way to get the ball away from the defender. And all 5 of these finishes are great at getting that ball up on the rim before taller defenders can get to it. Check them out. So the first one we'll talk about is an inside hand finish. When it comes down to throwing defenders off with both timing and direction, this is one of the best finishes you can use. Defenders are always very reliant on timing and prediction when blocking and contesting shots, simply because it takes some time to load up and jump for that ball. So by stretching out earlier than expected with that inside hand and not going with the regular predictable layup, you're throwing off their timing. Another thing it does is allows you to extend past their reach. Watch here how Ish is even with his taller defender, but he turns his body, stretches out, and finishes with that inside hand. It would be much more difficult with that outside hand. Plus, defenders aren't used to it, so they're not programmed to block shots when a player reaches out with the opposite hand. The next is what I call a bump and fade, which is pretty much short for creating contact and then fading or escaping away. When you create contact with the defender before they leave the ground, 1, it's going to be hard for them to jump because their process of jumping has been disturbed, and 2, they're going to be off balance. When you have an off-balance shot blocker who can't really get off the ground, seems like an easier finish to me. Just make sure you create the contact early before they get off the ground, and then extend away. Because at the end of the day, that defender's still likely taller than you, which means you have to go that extra mile to escape. Also, you want to stay in control while and after bumping, so it'll make that finish that much easier. Third is the sneak finish, and I personally call it this because you're sneaking in front of the defender. Once you're in front, you have free reign. If they reach over you, chances are they'll either not be able to reach you or they'll foul you. Either one sounds like a great option to me. The big key here though, being conscious of getting in front of the defender. Sometimes you may have to be physical. Sometimes it'll take a pretty sharp angle to get in front. But once you're in front, it'll open up for you. I promise. Next is an off-foot finish, which is kind of like the inside hand finish in terms of unpredictability. Again, defenders are timing for you to go off that same foot that you always go off of. So when you switch it up and go with that off foot, it's killer for their timing. Notice how on all of these, you see the defender jumping late. They can't get to it. Really focus on popping off the ground quick here and wasting no movement on the way up to the basket with the layup. Last, and this is probably the best one, although it's not the prettiest, a simple jump stop. Talk about timing. Players do this so infrequently these days that if you literally just come to a stop, defenders will go flying past. Plus, even if they don't, you have a pivot foot to work with, and you can use fakes, get them in the air, and take your time. Plus, it puts you in a way more powerful position to jump off of 2 feet like right here, so that you can absorb and initiate more contact than if you jumped off 1 foot. And you'll probably draw a lot of fouls too because defenders are flying at you, and you can be patient, create your contact, and finish through it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed these 5 finishes. Stay tuned and follow me on IG at BindingMesBasketball for way more.